Hi everyone.
Hello.
Happy to be live with Caroline England. Do you want to start us off, Caroline, with an introduction to you and your books?
Yeah, hi. I'm Caroline England. I'm also known as CE Rose. So I'm my own evil twin. And I write psychological thrillers, and I'm a member of the group. And obviously, that's crime fiction, but it's very much on the psychological end. Um, so I have written now 8 books as Caroline England and 4 books as CE Rose. And I did briefly do 2 books in a legal series, and my pen name that time was Caro Land, which some of you have read. I know Sam Brownlee was a big fan of those, but I took the rights back because I basically got £9 for 2 books, and that doesn't get you very far, does it? So yeah, so yeah, that's me. Shall I carry on, or do you want to ask me some questions?
Well, why don't you tell us a bit about what Behind a Smile is about?
Okay, right. So just yesterday, so thank you very much, Caroline. This is very topical. It was publication day for the paperback of Behind Her Smile. So that's my latest Caroline England book, which came out yesterday, and it's available in paperback and also ebook. So you'll find those on Amazon. Or you could go in your local bookshop and ask if you can order a copy. That's always another way to do it. And yeah, so as you can see, it's got a spooky cover going on there, a rag doll, and that's original artwork by a fabulous artist from Preston called Amy Newport. And I'm sure some of you will know Amy. She's lovely. And she did that fabulous, she did bespoke artwork on the cover, which was fun, from that same character, if you like, that same dolly in the book. But anyway, just a brief outline of the story. As ever with all my novels, they're very twisty-turny, lots of reveals and shocks and darkness and secrets and all that sort of thing. So it's very hard to always give a really good outline without giving a spoiler. But what I can say is that the story revolves around Laurie Dunn. And Laurie Dunn is a criminal law solicitor who lives in Manchester. And she's just split up from her long-term boyfriend, so she has to leave her swanky flat in Manchester city centre and go back home to Dad. And Dad is a dentist who lives in a place called Altrincham, which is on the outskirts. It's sort of towards Warrington. It's between Manchester and Warrington. It's a really lovely area. And he lives in a sprawling old house that's worth a lot of money, but it's a bit big, and it has lots of rooms filled with junk and all this sort of thing. But anyway, and Laurie's childhood bedroom was in the attic. She's got a sister, and a sister sort of lives in an annex at the back of the house now. And so she has to go back to Dad, back in her attic bedroom, and she's sort of a bit thrown because childhood nightmares are coming back, and sort of flashes of memories that she's not sure if it's sort of her imagination or her natural memory. And anyway, it's right at the beginning of the book, so it's not a spoiler. Laurie wakes up a couple of weeks after moving back home. She wakes up in the middle of the night at sort of 3 a.m. and thinks, what's that noise? So she leaves her bedroom, she goes down the grand sweeping staircase, and the front door is gaping open. So she dashes outside, and it's like, what is going on? And there is her dad, a bit like King Lear. He's in the garden, and he's half naked. He's just got his pajama bottoms on, and she sort of makes chase. She's not sure what you do when someone's sleepwalking or confused. But anyway, he stops and turns to her, and he gives a throwaway comment that Laurie thinks, wow, what does that mean? And I won't tell you what he says because you can read the book. But it does set Laurie on a mission to find out more about her family history, and in particular her father's first wife.
I
Caroline's nodding.
Yeah, I quite liked that it was set partly in Altrincham because I used to live there.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow. I didn't know that. Gosh, whereabouts? It's sort of like near the centre, or?
Oh God. Um, I mean, most bits are near the centre, aren't they?
Well, I guess they are. Yeah, it's really nice, and it's a really lovely place. I think it's gone through, where it's gone a bit quiet, and then they've done it up and everything. But the market, all the market area, which is mentioned in the book, they have a really good like foodie area, and all the markets and everything. So it's really nice. And so obviously it gets all the local places near to Altrincham mentioned, as well as Manchester city centre. And of course the book is set right now, so it's set late November going into December, and it goes up to Boxing Day, so it's all set in that period of time. So if anyone wants to, it doesn't have to be read at Christmas, it's not it's not in those terms, but if anyone wants to read a book where it's like contemporary, it's like now, it'd be a good time to start it, because you could read it, you could do it on the same days up to Boxing Day. Read a couple of chapters a day, and it's in real time then.
Laura says the book sounds interesting.
Oh, good, excellent.
They even have a visit to Dunham Massey, don't they? I remember going there quite a few times when I was younger.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? And it's always about like trying to spot the deer, isn't it, at Dunham Massey? And sometimes you go and you don't see one, and you think, and then sometimes you're really lucky and you see loads. But it's there must be a lot of deer there, and it's fun, to see them. But I like any wildlife. I'm happy to see it. I love animals, so anything will do me.
Yeah, I like animals. At the last school I worked at, they had like a farm animal people coming to visit, and you could ask the kids if they wanted to see. And I had an old class, like a year 11 one, and they were like, "We're not bothered." And I'm like, "We are going to see the animals."
They weren't
And
bothered. Oh
yeah,
no.
they're like, "No, we're okay." And I'm like, "You are going. You want to go and see the
Yeah,
animals.
you
I want
do.
to go
You
and pet the
definitely do.
animals." Like, we are all going.
Oh, I love it, because there's in again near where I live. There's a place called Wythenshawe, and it's Wythenshawe Hall, and it's a park. But they have a tiny little community farm there, and there's not a lot to see. There's some pigs and some cows and some horses, really. But I love it. I'll go, and yeah, I just sort of like never grown out of the love of that. Going to the farm.
So you've got a new publisher?
Yes,
With the
well, the new publisher came with The Return of Frankie Whittle, which was out in February. And yeah, then this is the second one in 1 year, but we're sort of either end of the year, so February and November.
Do you think you're gonna carry on trying to do 2 in a year, or?
Well, I think it's just the way it's sort of fallen, because it sounds like 2 a year sounds like a lot, but because it's either end of the year. But also, actually, I think I first got published in 2017, and I think I've probably just about done 2 a year ever since, as it happens. Um, Although I don't know if anything happened last year, so maybe I had a year off or something. But yeah, it's I think it's not that I'm writing them that sounds like quite some authors are brilliant, aren't they? They can do 3 a year, which is incredible. But I think it's because I sort of was writing before I got published, so I've got a back catalogue. So but I do, it's lovely. I love getting them out there, and I love it's exciting. It's what it's all about. Sort of like once you get a taste of that sort of publication, you're obsessed. And so I love it, and I love seeing what readers might think, and reading the reviews, and all this stuff is great.
Donna said, "Hey, yay, double Caroline. Good evening,"
Hi, Donna.
which is nice. We are, yeah, double Carolines. We always do this, don't we, when we're together?
Definitely.
This time of the year is a good one for us as well. Haven't you got a birthday coming up?
Yeah, I know. It's like, ooh, yeah, I know. Gosh, what we're twins. Sort of, yeah. So you're a lot younger than me, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, probably not. To be fair. Leslie said the new book looks intriguing as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, as I say, that the cover has caused a bit of controversy, because some people say, oh, I don't like, it looks a bit too spooky, but it isn't. Obviously it's twisty turny, but it is a psychological thriller, and it might be a bit chilling in places, but it's not scary chilling, you know what I mean? It's not the sort of thing where you have nightmares, I hope anyway, because psychological thrillers can be, obviously they can be a bit chilling, and they have that edge, don't they, and they're issuing everything. So it's, yeah, so don't worry if you're worried about the cover, it's fine.
To be fair, it probably would give me nightmares because it mentions dentists.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And I don't have a fond relationship with dentists.
Well, nor do I, and I've written about it, but yeah, it's just, I guess that just adds again a sort of level of
Horror.
that, yeah. It's not that horror.
It's kind of hard when you write a psychological thriller to think of lots of questions that you can ask about in the book. You've touched a bit on solicitors in this, haven't you, which is familiar ground for you?
Yeah. So we've got two main characters, and we've got their 2 points of view. So we've got Laurie, who's a criminal law solicitor, and her sections are in the first person. So she's sort of, I guess, the main narrator. But we've also got Finn Ballantyne, and his sections are in the third person. So he's that little bit distant, and he is a matrimonial and divorce lawyer. And I've done both aspects of the law during my career, so more so the divorce and matrimonial work, although it has changed quite a lot over the time, because of course divorce now is generally no fault, whereas it was, you know, there was a lot more mudslinging, I think, years ago. But yeah, so it's really nice to draw on all that, and you know, obviously well, with Finn, because his points of view are third person, and he's slightly distant, and you're not sure about Finn. You're not sure whether you can trust him or not. Whereas I think you feel you can trust Laurie, but then you never know with psychological thrillers. Sometimes you think you can trust narrators and you can't.
Yeah, I think I was just going to say that's quite a good point, isn't it? I don't think you can always know for sure that
No,
any character in a psychological thriller is going to be completely on the level.
no, I know. They're naughty people, aren't they?
Sometimes. Would you? I know you've written books with a solicitor in as a main character. Would you ever be tempted to go into exploring what you did? Because I think a book about divorce law would probably be really interesting.
What do you mean about actual cases, or?
No, like a fiction book based on it might be interesting. You know, like someone comes for the divorce solicitor because they're not happy with the outcome, or
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I'll write that next. Well, the two books I mentioned that I've got my rights back, Convictions and Confessions, they were in a legal series, and they were all about an eclectic bunch of lawyers, and it was serious, but it had a lot of humour in, and it was all about their lives and their relationships and everything. So I quite enjoyed doing that. So I guess I've done quite, and I have in my other books, I've got solicitor characters, but it's, they say, isn't it, write what you know type of thing. So you do all your teaching, you know, secrets and things that really go on behind the classroom doors.
no one would believe it.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes that happens with books, you know, where people go, well, that's not very believable type of thing. And you think it has happened, you know. So truth is often stranger than fiction, isn't it? But I bet you've got some great tales to tell.
Oh no, I've got some wild ones to tell, but they're not necessarily believable.
I'll have to, next time I see you, I have to get a few notes going.
Oh no, I will. I'll tell you some. Sarah Blackburn said hello. Donna
Oh,
said she
hi.
really enjoyed the book. You can't really tell what the truth is until the end.
So, sorry, who said that?
Donna, she
Oh,
said,
right, yeah.
yeah,
Thank
she
you,
said you
Donna.
can't tell us what the truth is until the end.
Yeah.
Is that something you enjoy playing with? Because I think that's come up in a few of your books, like people, you know, like hiding or obfuscating the truth. It's quite a theme in your novels, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's that's a sort of the genre, isn't it? But yeah, someone asked me the other day, you know, how do I decide to reveal things and all the rest of it? Um, but I don't know, because I'm a pantser and it just sort of happens generically and I don't plot it out ahead. I don't quite know how I know, but I think the thing is to hold on to the reveal, the truth for as long as you can, without like the reader getting, you know, confused or bored or anything. So I think that's, you know, you just sort of like, yeah, it's weird. They say it's like an onion, isn't it? Peeling the layers of an onion until finally you get to the middle and you know that it's rotten.
Donna says obfuscating on a Friday evening will get you. I am quite proud of that, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I liked it as well.
Like a good big word on a Friday evening, right? That was impressive. Um, what I'm thinking about is like you're also quite good at writing characters that aren't completely likable. You're quite good at that like shades of grey character in your
Yeah,
book.
I guess so. All like crime fiction in general. Well, even romance, you're going to get people that you're not sure whether you like or whatever. Otherwise, that's gonna, because that's where the conflict comes from, isn't it? And if everyone's nice, well, it's not real life, is it? Apart from anything else, not everyone is nice, sort of thing. So, and I think sometimes you change. I like it when I read a book, when I change my point of view. You know, you start reading and think, I do not like this person, and then you grow to like them, and I like that, or the other way around. Sometimes where you're thinking, God, I thought I like this person, and you know, so
What gives you the inspiration then? You know, when you're writing this book, do you go for like a little kind of drive through Altrincham and think, oh, I haven't set a book there, or do you come up with like the idea of like, you know, do you see Laurie and like what's going to happen with her, and that's the jumping off point? What gives you your inspiration?
well, I think with this one, again, it's partly I can't tell you because it's a spoiler. But one of the things, because when I've finished a book, and I know people ask the questions, what was the inspiration? I go back and I think, oh, what was the inspiration? But one thing was, you were saying about the dentist. I went to see one time a dentist, and he was doing something, and he was really really lovely. And there are my old tense as you are at the dentist, and he went, "Oh, write a book about a dentist." So I thought, okay, then I write a book about a dentist. So that was that one, and he was a really lovely chap. And he was also called David, and the dentist in the book is called David. But anyway, that's where the resemblance finishes. But anyway, the other thing was I was on a train coming back from Crime Fest in Bristol. This was probably about 3 years ago now, because I was with Libby Carpenter. And Libby sensibly put in her ear pods and just got on with listening to music when two elderly women came and sat with us. Whereas I just chatted to them, and they were, you know, it's like some people are lovely, they tell you their life story and everything. But anyway, one of these ladies started to tell me all sorts about the past of her family and family secrets and everything. And I'm like, oh, really, really, really? And she said, write about that. So I thought, okay, I will. So some of the things that happen in the book, one of the things, you know, something that's found, she said it had happened in her family. But also, I think another thing is, and it happens to us all maybe sometimes in life, where you're just going on, you know, life's quite on an even keel and it's quite jolly and everything, and you feel fine. Then suddenly something happens, or someone says something, and it makes your world just, the floor just open, because it shakes everything you believed in, type of thing, or it just makes you think, what the, you know. So I think that was another thing as well that was, you know, an inspiration for it.
Laura says there's a rag doll on the cover. Did you have a special toy when you were a child?
I remember I used to have a lovely little lion that my dad brought me. He went to London once and brought me back. I wish I knew what had happened to it. I like this. It was just a little tiny little lion. Um, yeah, I didn't. I think I used to like playing with like Tiny Tears type of dolls when I was very little. That was, you know, it's sort of not creepy rag dolls. They were more like dollies that you dressed and put nappies on and that type of thing. How about you, Kaz? Did you do that? You know, did you have a favourite toy?
Yeah, I had a Cabbage Patch doll when I was little that I took everywhere with me.
Oh, because they're a
Yeah.
bit creepy.
In the True Sign of a Book Nerd was named after my favourite book character.
And who is that?
There's a book by Rue McGodden. It's a really good one for Christmas. It's called The Story of Holly and Ivy,
Right. Oh,
and that was like one of my Cabbage Patch doll was named after that. And then when my brother left home, he bought me a pound puppy. I'm showing my age here. He bought me a pound puppy, and I can see him, my pound puppy.
oh.
It's sat on top of like my books over there.
Maybe you need to go and get him and show us.
He's a bit worse for wear now, but yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've actually got anything still from childhood, but yeah.
We've got both of us, like my husband's like childhood bear is like on top of the wardrobe over there. We've both
Oh,
got them.
that's nice. Yeah. Oh.
But I don't have many. Like we move too often for me to keep many things from being a child. That's it. Malcolm Hollingdrake said hello. He
Oh,
said
hi, Malcolm.
he said it's a brave cover, and I think maybe what he means by that, and I wonder because you said that you've had responses of people saying it makes people think it's scary. Do you think it sort of still reads as a psychological thriller cover?
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, there is that, isn't there? But I think it's just for me, I think everything was getting quite generic with psychological thrillers, including my own ones, where you get a house with a light in and that type, and a woman's figure at the top and everything. And so the publisher said he fancied getting Amy to do some original artwork. So I thought, I mean, it was my idea to have the rag doll on. Maybe she's come out a bit more scary than we intended. But it does fit the story, and I know what Malcolm means, but I just take the view it's noticeable, and I think more people have actually said they like the cover or they find the cover intriguing or noticeable than the other way around. And yeah, I guess some people might think it's sort of a bit too scary, but I guess then you turn it over and you'd read the blurb on the back, which is very psychological thriller blurb. And it does say at the bottom, tense, disturbing, and clever. Behind a Smile is perfect for fans of Lisa Jewell and Claire Douglas, who are very much in that genre. So hopefully that will give you a clue.
I mean, I think it's great. It's good that it's different and supporting like a local artist, even better. Amy's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm all
Yeah,
for it. And Amy's artwork's amazing. So
yeah, it is. She's very, very clever. It's like the way she's, I think, done the shoes and everything. They're so sort of like that's just such a clever 3D angle. Do you know what I mean? I think it is lovely.
Sarah Blackburn says she's got two bears which were bought before she was born. And also that you can't write about things that she discussed in Sedberth with you this year. What was said there?
Oh, come on, Sarah. Let me.
I can imagine Sarah's probably got some good stories as well.
Well, she went off to Venice and to Venice Noir. I mean, how lovely is that?
Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't it be lovely to be invited as an author? Like, oh, that'd be great. So, Venice Noir, can you ask me over, please, one day? It'd be nice.
I think I know an author who did go there. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Iceland Noir is one I'd like to go to.
Yeah, a lot of I noticed there are a lot of people that sort of like my contemporary writers who went there, and I thought I did try. I did do a little pitch, but they said no to me. Never
Oh,
mind. One day.
good times. Sarah had also asked our favourite question, which is about whether you act out scenes as you write.
No, not. I don't think I. No, I don't. But sometimes you just need to work out where arms and things go or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's. I mean, I did. Yeah, I think I've said this before. Years ago, I did. asked my husband to lie down on the living room carpet to see if I could move him, and I couldn't. He's a big guy. He's 6'3". He's like your hubby. He's tall and he's big, and also on a carpet, makes it even harder. Maybe on some sort of slippery flooring you could do it, and I couldn't budge him. So so I did try that. When you move a dead body type of thing. And sometimes they cut that out a little bit, don't they, in programs? If you've got quite a sort of slight woman and she's killed a great big guy, they cut it, and then the next thing she's like got him somewhere else. But actually, it'd be really hard to lug someone, wouldn't it?
It would. No, I agree. Evidently, yours Caroline's like a tall.
Yeah, you have to ask your hubby to do the same thing later. Lie down and see if you can shift him.
Oh no, because he's tall. He's ridiculously tall. He hurt his back a while ago, and I could help him up but it was very hard.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is. Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
And that was with him trying to help. So I think if he was laid down and not being helpful, I doubt I could do it.
Yeah, because you don't want it. The trouble is, you don't want them to do your back in. You don't both want a bad back if you try to.
True. I think it's the downside of just being ridiculously tall. To be fair.
I know. I think you're right. I think a lot of tall people have back problems, don't they?
Yeah. And it's kind of like their own fault, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his own fault for growing so tall.
Yeah, exactly. He gets all this.
He shouldn't have eaten his crusts or something when he was a boy.
What have you got? What's up next for you then? So you've been at a 2 book a year pace. What are you writing at the moment?
Well, I just carry on writing, and just hoping that the next one will come out, and I've always got a few I'm sort of like, well, for example, at the moment I'm going through one that I've already written, and that my agent is sort of fed back a little bit, but the feedback, you always get a bit traumatized thinking, oh my word, are there loads of things? But the problems were mainly because, when you get a manuscript and you decide to change a name, and you just go on to edit, find, and you find the name and just replace all, except I don't know whether it's just my laptop or my computer, it doesn't always work. So half the names were one name and half the other, and she was a bit like, what, who is this person? So it was easily fixed. And then sort of going forwards, I've started a new story, but I've broken off that for now. So I never know. All I know is I just carry on writing and hope that the books will see the light one day.
Laura says that you need to put these larger people into something you can drag, such as a shower curtain or a blanket.
Oh, it sounds as though someone's been practicing doing that.
Yeah, she says it's from demoing an escape sledge at a SN setting, not an actual body removal experience. We believe you, Laura.
Yeah. Millions would believe you, but I'm just trying to think though. I mean, we don't have a shower curtain. I'm just wondering what I'm going to use. Maybe just a sheet or something, or does it have to be slippy?
Oh, well, I think slippy would be best, wouldn't it? Because it would reduce friction.
Yeah.
So it would make it easier to move.
Yeah. Maybe bin liner, big bin liner would help. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
The things you learn on
things you learn at the UK Crime Book Club. You weren't expecting that conversation, were you, today? Do you often come up with or see things reported and go, that would be a good way to kill someone off?
Yeah, I guess you do. Just not necessarily killing someone off, because I'm very kind. I don't kill that many people off. I'm not like, some of the proper sort of detective people, or it's like I've just read, because I'm going to Newcastle Noir next week, and I'm on a panel with Sam Holland. So I read her first book about a serial killer. Oh my word, there are a lot of deaths in that book. There are a lot of killings, and there were a lot of imaginative ways to, but the killer was mimicking serial killers. So that obviously over the years there have been a lot of horrible death serial killers. But anyway, but I do get ideas for other ideas, not necessarily killing, but other maybe deceit or hidden crime or things like that. When you sometimes when you read the news or but I seem to sort of like file it away, not deliberately, because I never write things down. I should write things down, but I'll remember some. It'll just come to me, and I think, oh yeah, that sort of thing, and then I'll feed it in. But I guess sometimes, if something has been quite topical in the news, like say Nurse Letby, Lucy Letby, the current thing, I imagine there's probably quite a few since then, quite a few nurses who do bad things, you know what I mean? And I think it's because that will prompt a lot of people's imaginations. Not the same thing, but around that subject. So yeah, not that I've seen many so far. Have you?
No, I can't think of that. I have. I was trying to think that when you said it, and I couldn't really think of any.
Yeah, but maybe they'll come out in a splurge or something because people need time to write them, don't they? And the publishers do their bit, etc.
Would you ever be tempted to sort of go for a more police procedurally type crime or a more like traditional crime kind of story?
No. In a word, no, because I love it's like at the moment I'm obsessed with Cara Hunter books, her D.I. Fawley books. Really enjoyed them. What happened was when I go on holiday and we go on a family holiday, I swapped books with my eldest daughter. And we were around the pool, and she was reading this first in the series of these Cara Hunter books. And I could see she was near the end of the book, and we're on sun lounges next to each other. And so suddenly she went like that, and I thought, oh, that must be a really good twist because she was near the end. So anyway, since then I've become a bit obsessed. So I do love reading them, but I think it's just you need to know all your police procedure and everything, don't you? And yeah, it just feels like too much hard work. And it changes all the time, doesn't it? It's all the times you can have people interviewed in custody, all that type of thing. And I think also, I mean, I know some authors haven't been in the police and they write really good ones, but then again, a lot of ex-police or ex-probation officers, who've been in that world, it must be easier just to make them authentic.
Yeah, I think it's just people who know the people who get drawn into that kind of thing as well, isn't it? It's very hard to write sort of people who get drawn into sort of offending and things, I think, sensitively.
Yes.
In that sense. It's a bit like you face with your books, writing people who've done some of the things that have happened, like maybe behind a smile. It's how do you manage to write that while still keeping the characters, kind of on that grey area or interesting to people? How do you deal with like the sort of bad things that they're doing, like in a positive way?
Yeah, obviously, as an author, you're trying to throw in red herrings and trying to distract from what someone's really like, all that sort of thing. But do you mean how do you do it from a writing point of view, or how do you deal with? Oh, right, yeah. It's just sleight of hand, isn't it? Really, it's a bit like a magician. You're sort of like they say, don't they? If there's like a secret in a book from a writing point of view that you don't want to, you've got to be play fair with the reader. So the clues have got to be there, whatever type of novel it is. Even with psychological, you have to put things in, like things that would flag up. But what if you're flagging something up? You'd have to try and detract from that by, throwing a vase or something. You know what I mean? Sort of metaphorically throwing a vase. But yeah. So it's to do with like distraction and all that type of thing, isn't it? And also in real life, there's all sorts of things that come up in the news where you think, oh, I thought they were really nice, or like the Me Too movements and all sorts of things, sort of like. So people aren't what they seem.
Malcolm says if you're writing the more traditional kind of crime, it's all about having a good black book and knowing the right people.
Oh, well, I knew Malcolm would know the right people. But
There's lots of
yeah,
people in the group who help, though, isn't there? Like I know Graham Bartlett helps lots of people.
he does. Yeah, yeah. And there are lots of ex-police around, aren't there, who I'm sure would help if need be. But I don't know. All I really know of that world is what I read and what I watch on TV. And I don't know if I could authentically put that in a book. Obviously, Malcolm does amazingly because he's the same as you, teacher. So, but he's probably picked up. Have you picked up all sorts of stuff from there, Malcolm?
All sorts of stuff from what being a teacher.
Well, from the teaching world.
Yeah,
Like
maybe you're saying Brian Price is wonderful.
Sorry, who?
Well. He's saying Brian Price is good as well. Brian Price is
Right.
like science advisor. He's good for that.
Oh, right, good. It's good to know the right people. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, Graham must be busy with all his helping authors and everything, as well as obviously writing himself. So,
I've helped the odd person, but mostly with questions about DNA.
what, you're good on DNA, are you?
Well, my degree's in human genetics.
Ah, interesting.
So slightly.
So, right, everyone, we now know we've got another expert here.
Well, I mean, there's lots of people. We had a file once that had all the helpful people in the group. So people do come in and ask. Malcolm said he had good parents who were in various professions.
That's good. Yeah. It's funny because because obviously I used to at one stage do divorce and matrimonial work, and one time I gave a talk to a group of people. I don't know who they were, and someone put their hand up, and I thought they were going to ask me a question about writing. That's why I was there, and they went, right, well, and they started asking me this legal question, some legal advice, and I thought, oh, that no. Bit out of touch, but also like, I'd probably give the wrong advice. Don't want to get sued.
I don't know. I mean, this is going back to when you were saying about it. I think there's probably a lot of things that you knew from your legal career that would make for really interesting fiction.
Right, I'll put that and some thought into that.
Because I think, like you were saying, it's writing what you know, and I think there's probably people are fascinated by relationships. If you look at how many like reality shows there are about marriage and people having problems with relationships and all that kind of stuff, if you've done matrimonial and divorce law, I bet you people would eat up books about that kind of thing because
I guess
people love those shows, don't they?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm writing. A lot of it's a lot to do with relationship. I mean, I thought when I first got published, I thought that's what I was writing. I thought I was writing contemporary fiction about relationships and people and families and everything. So I think there's a fine line between contemporary fiction, women's fiction, and psychological thrillers, domestic noir. I think a lot of it overlaps, doesn't it? And it is about characterization and about people and love. I always have a nice, lots of love going on, as well as the darker side. I like, to have a bit of a relationship going in every book. I do think at the heart of every book I've written is love. And of course, love can go right and it can go wrong. So,
and then that's what makes it interesting to read about, isn't it?
Yeah, which I like, because I like to be able to get a bit of everything in it, really, sort of thing, and it is, and a bit of humour and a bit of like nice life, and so it's all. I wouldn't want to read a book that's all doom and gloom the whole of the book, sort of thing. There's the shades, shades of light and dark and all the rest of it.
Are you someone though who's done all this like kind of law in the past? Do you watch like these relationship shows and have opinions about which ones will last and which ones you might be being a solicitor for?
I know it's funny. I don't think you can. I think some you can predict, can't you? You know, people you think, oh well, that's not going to last. But it's different. It's relationships are funny, aren't they? Because some people are couples are very similar, and that's why it all works. And some people are completely different, and that's why it works. So if you know, so it's who knows, sort of like it's like relationship, but it's not just couples, is it? It's relationships between parents and children. Like, so you can have two parents with three kids, say, and those three children will have different relationships, even though they're siblings, won't they? And they'll see their childhood. One might think they had a great childhood, and the other one might think they had an awful childhood. So it's very interesting because it's all point of view, isn't it? And we're all completely different, and we see things differently. Which again, you were saying about the fascination with people. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's why it's all about storytelling, and storytelling involves people, doesn't it? So yeah, I think that's what it's all about.
Donna says after reading your book, she doesn't think she'd be that keen on being in a relationship, frankly.
Oh no, there's love and niceness and happiness and all those things. There are nice bits, honestly. I mean, it might not be as good as like having, a glass of Baileys on a Friday night, but it's all right sometimes.
I like the how you put different sort of parts of Cheshire and things on the map as well. There's not many people writing about Altrincham or, like the other areas that you've covered. And I think that's great. And I think we're starting to see with the rise of Stockport Noir and stuff like that, a bit more love for the area.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, you did a great thing getting, the UK book club thing. What did you call it? I came last year but I was on holiday this year. Was that in Leeds again or this time?
We didn't do it this year.
Oh, didn't you? Right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully then you will again, because that was great. Because that was something again, bringing it up north, sort of thing, and different areas. But yeah, I like to do that. I certainly like to keep things local. Again, write what you know, and it's nice to. I like being able to visualize places as well, and I think that gives it some authenticity. Although I did most of my books have been where I've written about. But when I wrote about Goosetree, which is in Cheshire, that was during lockdown. So I was doing all the stalking online. So that one, to this day, I haven't been to Goosetree. I must go. But that's where that book's set. But yeah, but I think all the rest of it, I have been there. Even Belgravia, but I've only been to Belgravia to walk through it and think, wow, how the other half live.
I got in trouble when I gave notice for our wedding. Because I said I'd never been in Lincoln in my life. But my passport says I was born there.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, whereabouts in Lincoln? Actually, in Lincoln itself, or?
No, my passport says Lincoln, but I was born on an RAF base, so it's you go to the nearest town for your passport. So the woman was like, "Oh, Lincoln's lovely. Have you been here? And have you been here?" And I was like, "I've never been to Lincoln in my life." And she's like, "Well, why does it say it on your passport?" And I was like, "Oh no."
So they didn't arrest you then?
They didn't arrest me. I managed to make up a good story and convince her that it was all fine.
Yeah, and in fairness, you can't remember that much when you've just been born, can you? So
no, exactly. Yeah, our birthplace, in fact. Me and Sarah Blackburn, born in the same place. She's the only person I've met in my entire life from the same place as me.
I like Lincoln though, because my sister did her nursing training there, and it was nice to go to Lincoln. It's not because it has a cathedral, doesn't it? I think. Yeah, it's just a small bit.
I've been
anyway,
once.
it's nice.
Yeah, I have been once actually to Lincoln.
God, we've got on to Lincoln now. What the things we cover in these chats.
Yeah, who knows? Tell us what you've read recently and enjoyed, or your read of the year. You can do either.
Oh, I think that's very different. Well, as I say, I'm a bit obsessed with these Cara Hunter books, and I'm now on. Have you heard of BorrowBox? Does everyone know about BorrowBox? Because I didn't until a librarian told me. So basically, BorrowBox is that you can borrow audiobooks from your local library. So with my library card, I'm with Manchester Libraries, and so not every book that's out in audio is on there. It just depends whether they have the books. So I've been listening to these Cara Hunter books, like going on walks, and I'm sort of halfway through, I think, book 6, which I think is the latest book. So I'll be really sad when I finish it. I always love a Lisa Jewell book. So I've probably listened again on BorrowBox and read probably about 4 this year. But I'm running out. But she does have a lot of books, in fairness. What else have I read? I'm currently reading for the panel at Newcastle Noir. I'm reading Robert Rutherford, who is also Robert Scragg, his 7 Days, I think it's called. Enjoying that. And Sam Holland's book, I can't remember what it's called now. Was it The Echo Man, maybe? Enjoyed that. I'm trying to think what else I've read recently, but I can't. Don't ask me to pick a book of the year because I can hardly remember. I'm really impressed that I've remembered those. But how about you? I'll throw it back at you.
What am
book
I
of
reading?
the year so far?
I've got a joint one, I think.
Oh, go on then.
And it's Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix.
Wow.
He's my favourite horror author. And How to Kill a Witch, the guide for the patriarchy, which is about the Scottish witchcraft trials.
Wow. Well, that sort of indicates the sort of things you like to read for pleasure. Very good.
Well, they're both good. I don't read a lot.
I was just going to say, it's good to get a recommendation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't read a lot of horror, but Grady Hendrix is really good. He's very much like, I think you would like him, because it's very much about people. So his books are very much about people being in different situations.
Oh, excellent. Good stuff. Good to know.
And how they react to kind of extremes and things, which is quite good. I do like him for that.
Good.
Laura says her library uses BorrowBox as well. And they do a monthly Worcestershire Reads Listen selection where you can get it instantly.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes you have to wait a bit, but they do become available like buses all at once, and you're like, oh no, sort of thing. But yeah, they'll still be there for next time. Even if I miss it this time, I'll wait for the next bus.
They're more enjoyable than buses, though.
Yeah,
aren't they? Generally,
they are. I do like it. I like to be able to multitask. So I like the fact that I can go on a walk and feel I'm getting some exercise and listen to a book at the same time. But yeah, it's sort of a newish thing. I never used to listen to audiobooks, and it feels a bit like cheating. Does anyone else feel like that? But it's not. It's still reading. You're just not using your eyes, you're using your ears instead. But it feels as though you haven't read it, which you haven't, but you have.
I think it counts as reading. I don't listen to audiobooks, but I wouldn't have an issue if someone said I've read an audiobook. Like, it's still reading. I mean, some of them take hours. You've got to really commit to some audiobooks.
And also you've got to be able to focus, haven't you? Because I think the trouble is that if you drift even for a minute with an audiobook, you need to be really attuned to what's going on. So that's why walking's great, I think. I probably go under a bus. I probably am. So it's like the other night I came back from Crime Central in Manchester, and I was on the tram, and a blogger called Sarah Clayton had written a fabulous review of Behind a Smile. And I was so pleased and reading it and thinking, oh, this is great. I missed my tram stop. So like, and then all of a sudden I was at the end of the line. So I did stay on the tram thinking it might just, start again, but it didn't. So I had to tromp my way home then. So
that's a bit of a disaster, isn't it?
It was worth it. It was such a good review, and I've had loads of really lovely ones. I'm really pleased. It's so heartwarming. And I know books, not everyone likes the same book sort of thing, but it's lovely to start off with. You get some really nice ones then, because we're all different. We like different things.
Now you've got a bit of a link with people like Amy. Would you ever be tempted to have a graphic novel version of one of your books?
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I don't know if a novel really lends itself that much to a graphic book, that type of novel, but certainly like a children's book or something, that'd be really interesting, wouldn't it? But yeah, that would be very interesting, but maybe not with scary dolls in, if it's going to be for children. Mind you, having said that, some children's books do have quite scary images in, don't they?
They can be quite terrifying, some children's books. There was a really great series written by Sophie Green called Popkin and Stubbs. And it's like, did you ever see the movie Sin City?
No, I haven't. I've heard about
Oh,
it, yeah.
it was like that for kids with ghosts in. And it was absolutely terrifying. And it was really good. But it was written for like middle grade kids.
Incredible, isn't it? But I think though, I remember I was reading James Herbert books when I'm sure it was when I was in junior school. So I'd have been, not junior school, but primary school. So I'd have been under 11, which just seems very young for reading horror. And they were quite, have you read a James Herbert? Yeah, they sort of have, like, one's called The Rats. And they have these giant rats that were all breeding. But I'm sure I was reading them quite young. But I do think children are capable of reading quite a lot at quite a young age. Certainly when you become a young teenager, I think you're reading if you can get your hands on things, you're reading all sorts of stuff. And because I was the youngest, I was like nabbing older siblings' inappropriate literature.
Yeah, I did that quite a lot when I was a kid. I remember reading, like, Catcher in the Rye is one of my favourite books ever, of all time. I love it. I've read it so many times. But I found that when I was about 10 from my brother's bookshelf.
Yeah.
The first time. And that's not appropriate at that age.
No. But the good thing about it is quite a short, it's like a novella size, isn't it? So it's quite a good, nugget size book to get into as a young person. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it. And I've read it so many times since.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That's what you get when you've got an older sibling, I guess, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
Donna says, obviously, you'd love all your books to be made into TV or film, but if you had to pick one, which would it be?
All of them. No, I don't know. Someone, in fact, today, a new review came out from about Behind a Smile, and the last thing it said was it'd make a great TV series. So I went back and said to the lovely lady, I said, well, if you could just arrange that, that'd be great, thanks. But yeah, I don't know. You'd like any of them, but as we all know from like other authors and whatnot, they don't always stick to the story, do they? Or they change characters, or they change what they look like. And I'm sure that must be frustrating. But I think you'd have to detach yourself, wouldn't you? You'd have to say, no, I've signed that over, and they can do what they want with it. But then other adaptations where you've read the book and you think it's a good one and you think they've stuck to it. Apparently, I love Slow Horses, and apparently that's very similar to the books, I'm told. I haven't read the books. So
I really like an author called Charlene Harris. She writes kind of cozy crime, but she's more famous for like kind of paranormal stuff. She wrote a vampire series, and it was turned into a TV show called True Blood.
Oh, yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it is absolutely nothing like the books. And when you hear her talk about it, she says she signed it off and happily gave it to them and let them do whatever they wanted with it, and then use the money to put her kids through college.
Yeah. I watched, because True Blood had well, I don't know what the people. She was is she from New Zealand, yeah, or is she American? But the guy has a Swedish background who was a vampire, and he's in loads of stuff now, isn't he? Alexander Scars, whatever. But I did think it was good. Yeah, I used to enjoy True Blood, and then it went on to some funny channel that I couldn't get anymore. So, but I did, yeah. Because was she called Suki or something like that in the main? Yeah. And shapeshifters and all sorts, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I like both, but the books were definitely very different.
Right, yeah. Oh well,
Yeah.
we'll see when it happens. It's like I noticed. I've not watched it yet. On I think it's Channel 5. There's a new detective series set in Derbyshire, and it's written by Stephen Booth. And I remember meeting. I've only ever met him once, Stephen Booth. I met him at like a festival or something, and he said, "Oh, my books have been under option, but and nothing's happened yet." And he went, "But of course, everybody's books are under option." And I thought, mine aren't. I'd
Mhm.
love an actually. At least if you have an option, you're going to be in it potentially to win it. But obviously, his options have come good. Because I quite fancy watching them. They look good. I can't remember what the programme's called, but it's the guy who's in Downton Abbey. He's one of the detectives.
Cool.
And is he called Robert Collier or something like that? Anyway, so there's hope. We have to live with hope.
Right, you've got a couple of minutes left. Remind people what they're going to go away and buy if they haven't
Right,
already done
okay.
so.
Great, thank you so much. So, Behind Her Smile, there we are again. And shall I quickly read the back so people know
Yeah,
what the
why
blurb
not?
is? So,
Yeah.
buried secrets are dangerous. Unearthing them might be deadly. Laurie Dunn has returned to her childhood attic bedroom and her old nightmares have come rushing back. Terrorised by a client-related mugging, her job as a criminal solicitor causes more problems than solutions. Finn Ballantyne yearns for a fresh start, but even the glossy facade of his new law firm can't protect him from the past he's running from. After a disturbing remark by her confused father, Laurie joins forces with Finn to uncover dark truths, but the long-buried secrets they unearth are laced with danger for them both. So there it is. So it's there and it's now available in paperback and in ebook from Amazon. So there we go. And if you do buy it and you love it, please review it. We all love reviews as authors and we're sort of begging for them. So I'll beg. Please review.
Right, and we'll finish off with these two comments. Sarah says that Cooper and Fry is the series that you're talking about.
Yeah, fancy that. Yeah.
And Donna says she'll buy a signed copy off you when she sees you at some event or other.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. And thanks for your support, Donna. You're brilliant.
Because I'm sure she will see you at some event or other, because Donna goes to all of the events.
I know she's brilliant. Absolutely fabulous. Yeah.
And then all that's left to say is thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you for having me and have a good evening, everybody. I'm going to go and get some Baileys now.
Good choice.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.